Hi there. Today we are making chocolate pudding. Now, when I was growing up, my mother would not buy those little chocolate puddings that came in a cup.
You poor deprived child.
Oh yes, or anything like that. In fact, she didn't buy sweets really ever. So if we wanted to have something sweet, and I had a sweet tooth, you had to make it yourself. So this is, stop laughing, this is my mother's chocolate pudding recipe.
It's a very stern chocolate pudding.
It's easy enough for a 7 or 8 year old child to make it herself, is what I did. I made it on the stovetop, but over the years I've adapted it so that my boys could make it in the microwave, which seemed easier and slightly quicker. So, and no flame to deal with and all that kind of stuff. So we're gonna do it in the microwave. And it's relatively healthy. Yeah, it's got some sugar in it, but you know, it's got cocoa and milk and cornstarch. It really is not a long ingredient list. And you know, it's a nice treat. Now, the only thing about chocolate pudding that I'm gonna say, this recipe, is you can't make it and then eat it immediately. It'll be too runny. You need to make it and put it in the fridge for at least a couple of hours and let it set up, and then you can eat it. So you could make it maybe while you're making dinner, and it might be ready after dinner, something like that. So, but let's get started. It's super easy. 2 cups of milk. Now you can use dairy milk or you can use plant milk here. This happened to be a mix because we had a little bit of plant milk left in the fridge, and I added some dairy milk to it.
You like oat milk the best, right?
Actually, this was a coconut
really?
milk,
Okay.
yes, but not the canned variety. If you did that, it would be super rich. It's not that, but you could use oat milk, you could use soy milk, you could use almond milk, etc., right? All of the milks. So we have here a 1/4 cup each of sugar and cocoa, and you can use any kind of cocoa you want here. It doesn't matter whether it's dark or light or Dutch or not. It depends on what kind of cocoa you like the taste of. So we're just gonna dump the sugar in there and dump the cocoa in there.
Where do you find the time?
Oh, crazy, right? And this is the magic ingredient that sets it for us. That is cornstarch.
Okay, look like a Pablo Escobar kind of thing.
No, that's cornstarch. So I'm just gonna dump the cornstarch in there too. Now, I used to make a mix for my boys that was all of these ingredients together that then they had to just scoop out and add to milk. And that was a really quick way for them to make a treat. Now, you'll see cocoa doesn't like to get worked into liquid. And if you've ever made hot chocolate from scratch made with cocoa, you'll know that.
But use a beater? Would a beater be better?
No, it does about the same. So this is mostly there. You can see there's still some powdery dry stuff. I'm not going to worry about that. I am, however, going to add a touch of salt. Now, that's not the original recipe, but I actually think that it adds quite a bit to it. You could also add a little bit of chili powder. I've done that. A little bit of cinnamon, some vanilla if you like, but I don't think it needs it. A little instant espresso powder. Any of those things would be really nice in here if you don't want straight up chocolate. If you want to add something like an essence, like an orange extract or something like that, I would hold off adding that until the pudding was already cooked, because I'm not sure if it would affect the final product.
Chemistry of it.
Yes, the chemistry of it. So you can see there's almost no cocoa floating on top. So we're going to put this into the microwave, and we're going to start with 2 minutes. So I'm just going to turn it on. Just regular old high, no fancy settings here, and we'll be back in 2 minutes. Ding, that was our 2 minutes. I'm gonna take this out. Oops. Now it's starting to get warm, so be careful when you take it out. And take your whisk and give it another good thorough, get the sides there, any chunks that you happen to see. Because this is the time, now it smells just like hot chocolate.
It does.
So this is the time where you want to make sure you get it completely smooth, everything is dissolved exactly how you want it to be. Now, I didn't mention, but I should, you need a fairly big bowl because, like a lot of things in the microwave, it rises as it cooks, and you could have an overflow issue if you didn't. If you're doing this on the stove, then Don't walk too far away because it also rises and bubbles up and could bubble over, but also you don't want it to burn on the bottom. Use a heavy bottom pan and make sure that you have a handy dandy spatula and you're getting to the bottom of it. So I'm going to put this back in for another 2 minutes and we will be back.
Hot, 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 hot.
It is hot. Can you see that darker bit? It cooks from the outside, right? So the darker bit is it cooking and starting to get thicker. I'm going to give this a stir.
Cool.
And once it's all sort of looks the same again, we're going to put it in one more time. And we're hoping that 2 more minutes will bring us to where we want. I'm pretty sure that that will get us there. But you know, your microwave might be different. It might take an extra minute. It might be slightly less. So keep an eye on it. But you can see that it's not just milk consistency now, it's already
It's getting
thicker than
yeah.
that, right? So just make sure that you get the bottom and the sides. And then we'll put it back in for 2 more minutes. It's like lava. So it's super hot. Have a look at that. It's already starting to look like pudding, right? Because it is pudding. I'm just going to give it one more stir. And I can tell from that texture that that will set up really well in the fridge. Now, I'm going to put it in, I'm going to let it cool on the counter for a little bit. Then I'm going to put it in the fridge. It's a little hot to put in the fridge like this. You can just put it in the fridge as is, which is how I will do it. And it will have a skin on the top. Now, some people get grossed out by that. They think it's weird. I suppose you could just remove the skin and feed it to someone it doesn't freak out. Personally, I like the skin. It tells me that this is real food. This is real chocolate pudding that you made yourself, as opposed to something out of a package that
Chemical stabilizers.
Yeah. So I kind of like that skin, and it's not a big deal to me. However, if it's a problem for you and you don't want to scoop it off later, what you can do is take a piece of plastic wrap and put it literally on the surface of the pudding, and then put the pudding in the fridge. That should mean that you don't end up with that skin on top. The problem is when you go to pull the plastic wrap off, you will pull some of the pudding with it, and then, you know, do you want to waste that, or do you want to scrape it off? That sounds like a hassle to me, so I'm not going to do it. I am just going to, like I said, sort of clean up the sides here a little bit.
Does Romeo get to lick the spoon?
Dog's chocolate bad. No,
yes.
he will not be. Although he does like milk, but not chocolate. So there you go. That is my mother's chocolate pudding. If you do it on the stove, it's pretty much the exact same thing, except not the 2 minute, 2 minute, 2 minute. You just cook it till it looks like it's the right consistency. And then you put it in the fridge. How easy was that? And now you have a huge amount, 2 cups, of chocolate pudding that you can share with your friends and family. So go out.
Don't tell your mom.
Yes. Go make chocolate pudding. See you later.